Okay, so the first part here is all of G is being plugged into F, right? So I'm going to take all of G and I'm going to plug it right there into F. So let's see, I'm just going to bring that down here. So F of G of X. Let's do that first off. So what does that mean? It's going to be a big mess. It's going to be 1 all over. Better. Okay, 1 all over, and then I'm going to plug in 2 over x plus 4 minus 4. Does that make sense what I did? So right here, I plugged in all of G into the X slot. How are we doing? We good so far? Now, now we got to clean this up. We have to clean up this mess. And this is the part I really want to help you with. When you have fractions over fractions with adding slash subtracting. So when you have fractions over fractions with adding, subtracting, what do you do about that? How do you handle that? That's really important. It's going to come up a lot in this class. And if you move on to calculus, same thing, it comes up a lot. How do you, right? Because you see the problem right here, right? So we have fractions over fractions right here. Fractions in the bottom of a fraction. That's called a complex fraction. It's a mess. We can't have it. We can't leave it. What do we do? And we have adding, subtracting. So what do you do in that case? You multiply every term, top and bottom, by the LCD over 1. And what is the LCD? LCD equals every item, or all items, let's say, all items under small bars multiplied together. Okay. So what is the LCD? It's all the items under small bars multiplied together, which should be what? Just this X. He's the only item under a small bar, isn't he? He's it. He's the only item. But if we had several other ones, if we had like a Y here and a 1 over W up there, then I would use the W, the X, and the Y. I would use WXY, and that would be my LCD. Is that making sense? You take all the items under small bars, not this big bar here, just the items under small bars, and you multiply them all together. That's the LCD. So in our case, all we have is this little x here. That's the only item. So that is our LCD. And what do we do with it? Multiply every term, top and bottom, by the LCD over 1. So I'm going to come there and go, okay, so I'm going to go x over 1. Here I'm just going to go x because it's not a fraction. I don't need to go over 1, x, and the top. Every term, top and bottom, by the LCD over 1. Because you got to do the same thing to the top and the bottom of a fraction. So you don't really change the value of the fraction. You just change the way it looks, right? When we do the same thing, top and bottom, all the terms on the top, all the terms on the bottom, we change the way the fraction looks without changing its actual value. Okay, let's come on down. What does that leave us now? Well, on the top, just x times 1, that's just x. What happens right here? Right here, these x's cancel. And so we just get 2 plus 4x minus 4, right? It's just 4. And these cancel, of course. And so when all is said and done, it's x over 2, isn't it? That's the answer to the first part, x over 2. Now, if you're thinking, couldn't we have canceled this +4 and -4 back here earlier? Wouldn't that have been any better? Yeah, you're right. You're totally right. I just wanted to show a what if worst case scenario. Like, what if these numbers, one of them had an X and a Y and they couldn't be canceled? But you're right. We should have just canceled them. That would have been cleaner for this specific one. But I just wanted to show worst case scenario. So I did it the hardest way, basically, which you might have to do sometimes if they're not just plain numbers that can be combined. But yeah, we could have canceled those early on. Would have been quicker. All right, let's keep going. Now let's do the second part of the question. So I'm going to come down here, grab this, bring it down here. So G of f of x. Now we're going the other way. We're putting f into G. F is inside of G. So I grab all of f. Let me go back up here. Grab all of f and plug it right in there to G. That whole 1 over x minus 4 is going right here underneath a 2 with a 4 off to the right. You get it? So let's do it. So we're going to have 2, a bar, and the 1 over x minus 4 with the plus 4 off to the right. Makes sense what I did. I just stuck, you can move it just a little bit. There we go. You can see it, right? I just put all of this right in underneath that 2. I put all of f into G. All of f into G. It's right there. There's all of f plugged into the x spot in G, which is under the 2, right there. All right, and then I got to do the LCD thing, right? Why? Because we have fractions over fractions. See it? This is a fraction in the bottom of a fraction. So this again, which means what? Multiply every term, top and bottom, by the LCD over 1. Well, what's the LCD over 1? LCD is all the items under small bar. So tell me, what on this one, what items do you see under small bars? Just this, right? This is the only small bar. Right here, this is a major bar. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the small bars. It says right here. So that's this small bar. Here's the item under the small bar. Okay, what am I going to do with it? So x minus 4. So our LCD, let me write it over here on the side. Our LCD for this one, for this part, is x minus 4. That's the only thing under a small bar. On the last one, it was just an x that was under a small bar. This time it's an x minus 4. Okay, what do you do with that? You multiply all the terms by the LCD over 1, x minus 4 over 1. So I multiply right here by x minus 4 over 1. I multiply right here. I'm just going to multiply by x minus 4. It's not a fraction. Now, should I also multiply the 4? No. You think, whoa, you said every term. Well, careful. What did I say? Every term, top and bottom, right? We're talking about the fraction. We're not even looking at the 4 right now. We're just looking at this guy. The 4 is not a problem. He's fine. He's just a plus 4. We're looking at this fraction. It's only top and bottom of the fraction. We can't be multiplying some other random thing off to the side by x minus 4. That would change the problem. No, we're doing top and bottom, all the terms that are on the top and the bottom of the fraction, right? Because if you do the same thing to the top and the bottom of the fraction, then you don't change the value of the fraction. You just make it look different. We're not messing with the 4. We have no problem with the 4. We have no issue with the 4. He's not part of the fraction. Just top and bottom of the fraction. Okay, so what happens? These cancel. That's why we did it, to get it to be nicer. So what's left? 2x minus 4 over, what's down there now? Just 1. There's nothing but 1 left on the bottom, right? And then distribute this. Get rid of that 1 on the bottom. It's not doing anything. 2x minus 8, and then there's that plus 4. And so then combine these guys. 2x minus 4. There it is. Bring that up. 2x minus 4. Does that make sense? We did that both directions. There we go.